Hello. You're singing, huh? That is neat. Okay, I thought that it was a good idea to, hold on, let me close this because I don't want to have a ton of, just a second. There we go. I don't want to have a ton of programs open there. Hi Elaine and hi Judy. Oh yay. Guess what? I just noticed that the captions, the auto captions are really, really good. Hold on, let me bring my microphone. The auto captions are really, really good, and they seem to do my read what I'm saying really nice. Awesome. So yeah, if you have any issues understanding me, you can enable closed captioning and it's going to say everything I'm saying. Yeah, it's got a little bit of mess up, but overall it's good. Okay, I thought that it would be a good idea to talk a little bit about color choices, because over and over I get these questions about, okay, how do I choose my colors? Okay, and I'm going to use today quite a bit computer graphics so I can show you better, but for that I did find online a good link where there's the design of several color wheels, and that explain pretty nicely what is going on. Even if they only have the tinting, they do not have the shading, but they explain pretty nicely how to choose the colors. So, and here we are talking especially about the hi Ellen, the choosing colors for fall and for winter jewelry, and not necessarily just for fall, but colors that would suggest fall and winter, and depending on the holidays and everything. Now it kind of seems a little bit simple to think that, yeah, if it is fall, I'm going to use yellows and oranges and maybe a few reds, and if it is winter, I'm going to use lots of whites and maybe some very, very light blue and some very, very light gray and some white pearl. And in essence, you would be correct, but excuse me, what it is very important is the let me get the display here. Is how do you combine them? Because it is very, very important how you combine something like that. Because depending on what you're trying to do, it's going to be either some type of beads, you might have some settings, you might want to combine the colors. What do you choose? As if you want to do a foam metal, what kind of metal are you going to choose? And this is essentially, this would be a color wheel, but as I said, it only has the tinting, and tinting means adding white to soften up the brightness of the color, the intensity of the color. It doesn't have, on this specific website, it doesn't have the shading. It's when you're adding black. But essentially, we do have the primary colors, right? And when we are talking about, can you see my mouse cursor, or should I change it to make it better noticeable? Let me see. Let me try and change it into something more noticeable. Oh, it's not here. Sorry. I went in the wrong mouse. There we go. Here, let me get a bigger mouse cursor. That is. Okay, this should work better. Okay, so these are the primary colors, the yellow, red, and blue. And essentially you can get all the other colors just by mixing these colors together. Then we have the secondary colors. And the secondary colors, if you see, they are the ones that are right in the middle, in between the primary colors. So obviously, in between yellow and red will be orange, in between yellow and blue will be green, in between red and blue will be purple. And here we have them. And then we have the tertiary colors. And those are the mixes between a primary and a secondary. Like here, we have a mix between red and orange. It's going to be a red-orange, reddish-orange. A mix between orange and yellow will be a yellowish orange. And the same goes, so these are all the tertiaries. Now, how do you choose? Let's take the monochromatic. And the monochromatic here, let's say that we do a various hues of red, as you can see here. But how do you obtain these various hues of red? If you notice here, especially towards here, the red goes more towards brown, right? Well, amazingly, in order to get towards brown, you have two different ways that you can do it. And I'm going to tell you the simplest of all. Going towards dark, you add black. Going towards light, you add white. So like we have here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on each side. You would get one square of red for each of these colors. And then, and I'm going to actually show you exactly how to do it. So I'm going to get some red. Just a second. I don't think I have enough red to show you this. I need to get some more. Just a second, I had a black and I don't find my black. Where's my stupid keep it black. I don't want to have to open yet another package of black. What did I do with it? It was in a big thing. I'm gonna use yellow because I seem to have more yellow, and with the Christmas coming, I'm gonna need the red. Sorry. What technical difficulties? Were there any technical difficulties that I didn't notice? Now, the only technical difficulties would be if I cannot find something that I have no idea what I did with. I might even have to check my trash can. And me trying to reach somewhere with my left arm and getting a flare up of the shoulder thing. Okay, so instead of doing the red, we are going to do the yellow. And I'm going to use a smaller square, not the big square, because I don't want to get so much of it. Okay, so this is cadmium yellow. I found my black. Actually, you know, I don't even I don't even need the cutter because I have the the grill here. Okay, so I'm going to cut myself. I have 5. Let me try and get 6. I'm going to cut myself 6 squares of 1 square inch each. And of course, you don't have to go all the way to get 12 different hues. I'm going to show you one that's a little bit more simple. Oh, technical difficulties with you. I thought that I had technical difficulties. Okay. Well, I guess I did get 6, so we're gonna do 12 just to be on the safe side. Okay, so we have 12 squares of yellow. Now I'm going to get some black. And I'm not going to use that much black because I don't need that much black. I would need, I think, at most 6 squares. Definitely not 12. And then of course I'm going to need some white. It was funny because somebody in the playground group was like, "Oh, I so much admire you that you put everything back whenever you're working with it. Your studio must look so awesome." And dream on. Okay, and I'm going to get, actually I think I need about 3. I'm gonna cut 4 just to be on the safe side. So just I can show you. Of course you can start with the Skinner blend, but you don't get as precise as you get by doing it this way. And especially if you want to make something that would go from one end to the other. And I shall show you how. And by the way, I'm going to show something else just for Leah, because she posted that in the playground, but I don't want to have to make a tutorial about that right now as I'm still struggling, so I'm going to show it here. Okay, I still have one. If I need to make one more, I have some here. And let me grab some white. And I'm going to do the same thing. You can watch it again, Elaine. The thing is, and I meant to tell you, the thing is that I was thinking about making some Facebook group video chat for the sponsors. The problem is that I have a few sponsors who are not on Facebook and they don't want to be on Facebook, so they would be missing on it. So I'm going to have to figure out first how I can download the video once it's done, because it doesn't let me do that in a group. So that sucks. Same thing. And once I do this, I'll make some cool tricks to show you how you can do some awesome stuff with it. Okay, I got 5 of the whites. As I said, I can cut another black if I need to. Okay, so let's start with the black. I'm going to grab the 6 yellows and put them here, approximately, so you can see them. Okay. First and foremost, what I'm going to do is to cut them in 4. And you see how I arrange them. It might not all of them need to be cut in 4, but I'm going to still do it because that way you understand the process. Oops. Sorry. And I have this will be my lightest, this will be my darkest, right? So the next thing that I'm going to do is to cut this top in 2 again. As I said, you don't actually need to cut all of them when you're doing the mix, but I'm cutting all of them so you can understand better the process. And I do the same for the black. I cut it first in 4, and then one of the 4s I'm going to cut it again in half. Now, remember something. Whenever you're using the black with the lighter color, you have to think about the fact that the black is super strong. So you don't want, because originally you would need here to start with the pure yellow. Then the next one, we replace 1/8 of yellow with 1/8 of black. The next one, we replace 1/4 of yellow with 1/4 of black. The next one, we replace 1/4 and 1/8 of yellow with 1/4 and 1/8 of black. Then the next one, hi Robbie, the next one, we replace half a yellow with half a black. But you see how I go by 1/8 with the black. I don't go by 1/4. So the next one, we replace 1/2 and 1/8 of yellow with 1/2 and 1/8 of black. So these will be my colors for that wheel that I showed you in red. Hold on, this one. Only this will be with yellow. Okay. All right, so this one I don't have to do anything to it. I didn't even need this many. This will be my original color. Then this one needs mixed, and I'm going to put my machine directly on a very thin so I can mix it faster. Yeah, YouTube is really nasty about sending reminders. And remember what I said. I said that the black is very, very strong. Now the next one. And by the way, if you want to mix it faster, instead of folding it once, your machine will not have anything bad happening to it if you do it this way. Instead of folding it once, I fold it 3 times and I go like this. And then just 1 time. It doesn't look like much when you look at them first, but then when you put them side by side, you can see the big difference. Okay, so again, I'm going to go long and then fold it 3 times, and every time I fold it 3 times, pretty much. And then the last one. So now we have the dark side. Now let's do the bright side. And I'm going to do the same cut in 4 and then with the top cut in 8. But I'm going to start differently. And why is that? Because I already have the pure yellow here. So if you want to make a, let's say, gradient necklace or bracelet, you already have the beads ready. Okay, I didn't cut this very well, like this. And then again, I'm going to cut the top in 2, so I get 8s. So I'm going to do the same with 3 squares of the white. Only that this time I start directly with 1/8. And then I'm going to do 1/4. Then I'm going to do 1/4 and 1/8 So 1/4 and 1/8, then half, and then half and 1/8, and then 3/4. Okay, so let me get these in a circle. And now we are going to start mixing them. So first this one. Now, the thing also is how bright you want your white to look like, because you can start with directly 1/4 instead of 1/8, and then here you'll have 7/8 white and only 1/8 of yellow. Just because the yellow compared to the white is still stronger than the white. Actually, the difference is bigger, but it's the color, the light that I use for the video that changes a little bit. Now be very careful, because if you try to do this with sunshine yellow, it will be very greenish, because sunshine yellow has a lot of green in it. I will change the light once I'm done so you can see better the differences in color. And the last one. And the last one, and you can see the full wheel. Let me get it here better, and then change the light a little bit. OCD, 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 OCD. Okay, let me change the light. Okay, now you can see better the color differences, the hue differences. Now, what can you do with this? As I said, you can do a bracelet or a necklace that would go directly with this, and if you want to make them even you know, going in a tiered thing, of course you're going to use a increasing size. So let's say you will go from 1 square inch with the smaller ones to a 2 square inch to the larger one. And the 2 square inch is going to give you a, hold on, just to show you the size. Or you can go to 1.5 square inch, but a 2 square inch just to get a matter of proportion. And as long as you keep the proportions that I explained, you know, with going with 1/8 up and down, you will be fine. You'll obtain the proportions that you need. So this will be your largest. This would be your largest. And as you can see, it would make an absolutely gorgeous necklace. And you can do this with absolutely any color. Absolutely any color. So you'll go with these two for 2 inches. And then for each next one, just make it with 1/4 of an inch smaller. So you'd have these two. So the pure yellow and the yellow with 1/8 white, you'd have yeah, it's 4 square inches, a 2 by 2. Then for these, you'd get a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Then these you'd get 1.5 by 1.5. These would get 1¼ by 1¼ and these last two will be just 1 by 1 because they are good enough. And that way, and it doesn't matter how big your square is, as long as you do that segmentation, and that's how you do your mixes, and you will get something absolutely gorgeous. Another thing that you can do, and it also looks beautiful, is making beads. Okay, so we are talking beads. You make them all nice and round and make sure that you don't have folding lines on them, because that's what you're the most interested in. And there are several ways that you can combine them. One of the ways that you can combine them is to cut each of them in 4 and then start arranging, and I'll show you how. So you cut each of them in 4. I'm going to reconstitute them here in a minute for the next pattern that I want to show you. So we have this one, then we have the second one, then we have the third one, and you all cut them all in 4. And then you will reconstitute them by mixing the colors, by mixing but skipping. I'll show you here. Let me finish cutting a few so I can show you exactly how that works. It is more more shocking if you skip more mixes. Because if you go one of this, one of this, one of this, one of this, they are going to look very much the same. But if you skip, it's going to make a very nice combination. I'm gonna just cut up to here. Okay, so I'm going to skip by 4 because I have 12, so I can skip by 4. So I'm taking, no, by 3. Let me cut them all because that's how I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this would be the whisper, please. You've been out. I don't know what you want. Leave me alone. I'm not giving you food right now. Don't think I didn't feed him. Go to bed. Go to bed. Don't look at me. Go to bed. Okay, so I'm gonna skip 3. So I'm going to take one of this, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. and I go and I have one bead, and then the next you go with the next one and you go one, then 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and you mix them like that. You can and I get here, 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 and here. You can combine them by 6, skipping 6, because you take 1 here, then you do 1 2 3 4 5 6. You get 1 from here. 1 2 3 4 5. No, 5, sorry. You never do with 6. You can do by 5, you can do, and you can actually start one past. You can do skipping by 2, but as I said, skipping by 2, it's not doing such a good thing. Another thing that you can do, again, skipping, but this time, let me put them, I know, I just cut them and now I'm putting them together. And you know, the bad part with him is that I know that he's not very hungry. That's a thing. That's why I'm not very uncomfortable about it. But with Whisper, if he gets hungry and I don't feed him, he throws up bile because of his issues. Hey, great job. Okay. Of course it had to go all the way under the table, or I cannot reach it. Fuck. Pardon my French. Let me try and find something to pull it with. Go grab the broom. Okay, I got a Swiffer thingy. No, because if I try to get under the table now, I'm going to hurt my shoulder and I won't be able to do anything anymore. And of course it's got all kinds of corner hairs on it. That's the thing when my hands don't work and I drop stuff. But with these ones, you'll have to put them back in a... Oh, he doesn't like... He rubs on where I have the raw clay, but otherwise he plays only with baked beads. He steals baked beads. Okay, the next combination you can do is, again, you arrange them in a circle because you need to combine the opposites. And this one works beautiful for a necklace with the beads all the same size. My stupid straps keep falling. So let's get them back in a circle. This and this. Okay, so you combine the opposites. So this would be opposite with this, right? And you simply cut them in half, and you combine them like this. You can even add a string of silver between them. See? And then you'll get even these ones, even if it doesn't look like it's going to be in this light, like it's going to be really neat, I promise you that it will be really neat whenever you do this combination. Okay. But as I said, these are really, really neat. And another thing that you can do, for example, you can get these in a cabochon. Okay, and you can go make a Skinner blend of black and white and make a setting that goes from black, from the lightest yellow, to white for the darkest yellow. And that way you can arrange and rearrange beautifully. The other thing that you can do is a mokumegane, obviously, but this time, and again, you're going to pair them. So you place this one first, this one on top, then this one, 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 this one, and this one. And this will be flattened out, will be your mokumegane, and then you'll have a lot of beautiful design. You want me to do it like that so you can see how you can obtain these beautiful combinations. And we have some Oreos. They look like Oreos. See? Okay. Let's flatten them out a little bit. And remember, always flip, because the one on the top will have the tendency to get more flattened out. And then you try to get them approximately equal. Let's check and see how thin are the... No, they need to be more thinned out, so... And if you remember, I did that mini series on Mokumegane, and I said that you must not put too many colors. But here we don't actually have many colors, we have a monochrome. So let's see how this looks like. So let's do some pokey pokey. And let's get the to always do with the blunt edge of the blade. And let's get a toothpick. And some cutter. Now let's break this back together, consolidate it. And you will get very another thing on which this works super nice, it's the total monochromatic, and that would be the black and white mixes. If you do a very refined, like in 12 colors, 12 hues with just black and white, you'll get some beautiful silver like patterns. But let's grab a I need to get a little piece of scrap, and so I have something to put my shavings off on. Okay. Now let me get my eyes. A little bit of Armor All for the blade to make sure it's nice and clean and slides easily. Always cut from the wipe from the blunt towards the sharp. Okay, and get your piece nicely stuck to the tile, and then you can start. And of course you can use this for a stamped mokumegane as well. But with this type of combinations, it's especially if you put a little bit of translucent in between each of the four layers, you will get something very similar to agate. Because usually in an agate your best bet when you're trying to imitate an agate is to, the most common agates have the same color but in, yay Robbie, but in different hues. That is awesome. I still cannot believe that they did all of both eyes at the same time. And see how refined this mokumegane is. Another thing that you can do when you create your stack is to place again between the stacks of 4. You saw how I created them 4 at a time, 3 stacks of 4 because they were 12. Place on thin. So first you do a thin layer of white, a thin layer of black, and then put the the complementary color to yellow, which is purple. It's going to create 3D effects and look more like agate. But if you use purple, and it can be any hue of purple, even fuchsia, even indigo, even lavender, even dark purple, but you have to sandwich it between the one black and one white and put that in between the 3 stacks. So you'll have darker stack, sandwich of purple, black and white, medium stack, sandwich of purple, black and white, lighter stack, sandwich of purple, black and white, and then you create, and you'll see that it makes beautiful patterns. But as I said, if you do this with the black and white, you will get some really, especially if you use stamped mokumegane, you will get some absolutely fabulous silverish effects. Let me see. I'll try and refocus this so you can see better from close up. See, now imagine that you have this in black and white. It's going to look like some kind of silver ghost. It's going to be absolutely fabulous. But generally speaking, you see, it's a beautiful monochromatic mokumegane. Now, moving a little bit forward, and I need to go take a pill. I'll be right back. Those two little shits. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Just remember that you'll also get mica shift, not just mokumegane. Remember that we had a live a couple weeks ago, I think, with combining mokumegane and mica shift. Now, let's move forward. And move to the complementary. Remember that whenever, if you want to mix this, if you want to do a Skinner blend, whenever you'll use 2 complementaries, between them you'll get mud. And you don't want that to happen. And I showed in one of the public tutorials how you can avoid this. And the way you can avoid this is you have purple on the side, yellow on the side, right? If you start doing the Skinner blend with them, all this area in the middle is going to get mud, it's going to get brown. What you do, you put right in the middle one of the colors, one of the side colors, you kind of shift to an intermediary, pretty much. You can put either this blue or an indigo blue, or you can put a red or a fuchsia between them, because any of these colors will mix good with the yellow and will mix good with the purple. So instead of having that brown in the middle, you'll have a very nice combination. And where did I show this? Let me see. Give me just a second. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't too long ago that I did this. Yes, when I did the bangles. Let me get the cane. Okay, this one. I'm gonna give you the link to this one, because I showed exactly this, how you can avoid the mud, because in this one I actually combined exactly violet and purple, and it came up just perfect. Now you can combine these two, but as always, I always advise to, if you're doing a mokumegane, remember how I explained, your best bet, if you want them to kind of jump at you, don't use them as is. Shift once. So you either do the violet, shift towards the left with like a lime, or shift towards the right towards an orange, or keep the yellow but shift towards indigo or shift towards fuchsia, and then always intersperse it between them black and white. Now the triadic, and that is one of my most favorite ones. Never use triadic, pure triadic. Always keep one of the colors of the triad. So this is when you go in a triangle, which triangle can be like this, can be like this, can be like this, you know. But use one of the pure colors of the triad, but on the other one shift, and this would be the split complementary. See how you keep, normally you'd have the yellow, blue, red. You keep the yellow, but you shift towards the same side with the other two. If I would keep this fuchsia thing, I would shift the orange towards yellow and the turquoise blue towards green, and that would give me a much better combination. Or if I were to keep the blue, and you can shift them both ways. I mean, you can shift either these like this, or you can shift them towards this. But and you can also tint or shade. Now the analogous, whenever you mix the analogous, that means that they are of the same a family of colors. Like here we can have yellow, orange, reddish orange. or yellow orange, orange, reddish orange, or any of these, always add either, as I call it, the ultimate tint and the ultimate shade, black and white. But never leave them by themselves because they are going to get lost. They make beautiful combinations. Do not use mokumegane with them. It's going to be very hard. You need to have at least 2 to 3 steps skipped between the colors that you do in a mokumegane if you want your mokumegane to look nice. Then, how do we choose the metal? With the metal, generally, you go with something either completely opposite or something of the same family. For example, if we have a cabochon that has the most red and orange, and also you can use always black or white. It doesn't matter for what, black or white will work for no matter what. But let's say that we have a red orange. You can use a silver. In this case, that would be similar to the white. But it will not look good if you do a copper, because the copper would look exactly too much like it and it will not bring it out. You can use a more goldish white gold style, but not of the same family of colors. If we have anything that is in the greenish area, that works the best with copper, which would be the opposite. In the blue area and purple area, the best works goldish. But as you go more towards the red, so you have pretty much here on the red, you need to combine it with an opposite warmth. So the red, orange, yellow, orange, all these, they are warm. You need to combine them with the metal that would be cold color. So a silver is a cold color. A gold would be also a warm color. It doesn't work good. For the green, and you need a warm color because green, this green is more towards cold, so you need a warm, so you'd go copper. And then you go slightly lighter into gold, that's also warm. And then as you come back to this, you have silver again. So you would go like silver, 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 copper, gold, 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 silver. That would work the best. Let me see what is the... Okay, nothing in the chat. Do you have any questions? Up to this point. Okay, just a second. Okay, not this. Just a second. I don't know why I didn't put this on. On my favorites. Okay, there we go. So we are talking about, you always on the Pantone, you can always get your colors. And as you can see, you have warm and hot, but they are a little bit diffuse. Just a second, I need to put some cream. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I went a little bit past the time I was supposed to take my pill. Oh, okay, no, I wanted to get the Vogue. And I think I had it, but let's see if it was this. And when they start pop-ups, there we go. Okay, see here how you have the orange and purple combinations, and respectively purple and gold combinations, and as they go farther in the color, they turn more reddish. This year, and by the way, the seashells and the pearls are again in vogue, and the cameos started being in vogue as well. Here we are talking metal, 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 rhinestones, and not this, color explosions. I'm trying to find something that would and I'm sorry, but I find these absolutely stupid. I'm sorry. Okay, so no, this is not a good one. So this is pretty much a rainbow. Yeah, I was trying to find something to show you exactly the combinations that the big designers do. See, like blue is combined with the warm metal. Then you have, and all the pearly things are very much in fashion. And all shades of pearl. All shades of pearl. Absolutely all shades of pearl. In the boho chic, I love this. But this is the big catwalk. But even they do these combinations. When we talk about, let me put it this way, when we talk about turquoise jewelry, this is the best thing. Hold on. And I'll show you the differences. Okay. Whenever we have a turquoise that's got a lot of a lot of different hues of blue, it will look okay with silver, but it looks way better with golden metal. Let me try and actually find. See, look how much better it looks when it's set in gold compared to how it looks when it's set in silver. And that is also valid for the Verisite jewelry. I mean, I'm not saying that the turquoise in silver jewelry is not pretty, but some turquoises, depending on the colors they have on them, they will look much better in gold than they do in silver. Come on, Pinterest, you're driving me nuts. Because, see, if you look at these, this will look nice in it will look okay in silver, but this definitely will look better in gold. And the same, the colder the matrix, the better it will look good in silver. The warmer the matrix, the better it will look in gold. So when you have a matrix that's got more black and pyrite, it will look much better in silver. For example, see how this one actually does have some German silver. How the one with the dark, let me see if it shows it bigger. And the ones with the dark matrix, but it just changes them. I just want to see it better. Let me try it. Where did they go? Okay. So a dark matrix looks perfect in silver, but more goldish matrix, this one, for example, would look much better in gold. And the same goes for these. They would look much better in a gold setting than in a silver setting. These ones have a darker matrix, so they look much better in silver. So you always need to do something that would bring out the color. Okay. It depends on the blue a lot, Ellen. No, painting will not look the same. Painting will not look the same, and it, as I said, it depends on the hue of blue you have and what other color you have with the blue. Because if I would put, hold on, let me try and show you this way. Let's say that I get I have a turquoise that is a turquoise color, right? And then let's grab this and do a setting. And let's do a silver. And let's do a gold. Now let's do something about this turquoise. Okay, I'm going first to put a goldish matrix on one, and I'm going to put a dark matrix on the other one. So, this is not good. And let's get this one with the dark matrix. Oops, sorry, exactly backwards. Okay, so let's say when we have the dark matrix, you can see the difference, how it looks with gold and how it looks with silver. Actually, this silver should be a little bit darker. Aye. Okay, sorry, I got a little disconnected for some reason, I don't know why, but it did reconnect. Okay, so you can see the difference between how it would look with the dark matrix on I hope I'm showing the display. Yes, I am. On silver and how it would look on gold. You can see that it looks much better on silver than it does on gold. But on the other hand, if we use the more goldish matrix, a warmer matrix, will look much better on goldish. This is approximately goldish. Then it would look on silver. So it is very, very important how it will warm up or cool down the blue. Does that make any sense? What I was talking about? So you have to, hi Fran, the Sleeping Beauty. The Sleeping Beauty is sleeping. So yeah, that would be very, very something you need to pay a lot of attention on, how you combine when you have some of these colors that are warm and cold. Which setting would be the best for it? Does that make sense? And as we are talking about a lot of pearly stuff, for example, try to combine, go because you can make pearl-like necklace, and I will soon post a sponsor tutorial that unfortunately I wasn't able to finish this week with 3 doctor appointments and a flu shot. I'm sorry. And tomorrow again I'm all busy because I have the celebration of 10 years. But I'm going to post soon a sponsor tutorial that's all with mica shifts and pearly accents, and exactly with this type of stuff going in a gradient, and that's going to show you a lot of how important is to choose the proper gradients and the proper colors and the proper settings, if that makes sense. But I hope that it was informational, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go lay down because I'm getting woozy. And they still didn't call me about the physical therapy. I saw the doctor Monday. So Monday, I think this Monday I'm going to call them, because this is horrible. But thank you, and I will come online probably tomorrow around 5 p.m., 4 or 5 p.m. to celebrate with everybody. And of course Sunday will be the live. But I'm trying to work real hard to catch up, and I'm very proud of my fingernails. See the cat's eye effect. Ha ha. I got some new one, and they look different depending on the angle. You can see different colors. Okay, I'm going to go lay down. I am sorry. I wish I could have stayed much later, but I've been cleaning the house and preparing stuff for tomorrow and working on some tutorials at the same time and doing some experiments. So I should be much better starting Monday, because hopefully no doctor appointments. And if they get me for physical therapy, I'll be careful how I schedule it.